Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare.
Hare Krishna. So we welcome everyone for today's discussion on Srimad Bhagavad Gita. So we discussed regarding these three kinds of miseries. Adhyatmic kalesh, misery is due to our own body and mind. Adhibhautik kalesh, misery is due to other living entities. And Adhidaivic kalesh, misery is due to natural disasters. So these three kinds of miseries, they constantly make us suffer in this material world. So although there are four real problems of life known as birth, death, old age, and disease, but in between these four real problems, the birth has happened and death is still awaiting. So in between there are diseases and old age, but in between whatever gap is there, so these gaps are filled by these three kinds of miseries, which makes a person's life completely miserable. And then you might think, but there are some happiness also in this world, happiness which we get from this world. Yes, who can tell? So actually, there is no happiness in this world, but sometimes we experience a little bit relief from the miseries, constant miseries in our life, and that relief is considered as happiness. Just like if somebody uh, comes to me and she beats me a lot. He slaps me, he beats me constantly. But in between, he gives me relief. Instead of beating me, he shouts at me. He chastises me. Uh, so that relief from the beating, I think that, oh, this is very nice. I'm feeling so much happiness. But that happiness? The person is not slapping you, is not beating me, but still he's shouting at me. He's abusing me. But I'm thinking, oh, he's not beating. So I'm getting so much relief. Just like sometimes in the prison houses, earlier there was a kind of punishment that of the prisoners and the person who has committed some criminal activity. So he was drowned in a pot filled with water. But as soon as the case was, she was at the verge of leaving his body. He was just experiencing so much pain and suffocation that he is just going to leave his body. He's just going to die. At that very moment, he is lifted from the water. And as soon as he is lifted from the water, immediately he takes a big breath, a high breath, heavy breath he takes, and he feels that, oh, this is so nice. I'm experiencing so much happiness. But again, after 5 seconds, he's again put inside the water to experience suffocation. And again, after a few minutes, when he's just about to die, again he's taken out of the water. And when he's taken out of the water, he takes a heavy breath and he feels that, oh, life is so nice. I'm feeling so much, uh, so nice I'm feeling. So what do you think? Is this happiness when he's taken out of the water, given some few seconds to breathe? So is that happiness? What do you think? So this is what is the calculation of this material happiness. So the definition of material happiness is explained somewhere. Uh, the gap between two kinds of suffering is considered to be happiness. But actually, that is not happiness. That is just a little relief from suffering. That's all. So actually, there is no happiness. But it's still, because so much suffering is there, if a person in this life, he is somehow or other, even for a few days, a few minutes, a few hours, he is able to remove these three kinds of miseries, not remove, but he is able to adjust these three kinds of miserable situation. He think that I am very happy person in this world. That is their definition of happiness. But this is not happiness. That is why, because of not having experienced real happiness, when a devotee comes to them and tells about the real happiness, they are unable to relate it. They are unable to understand. Oh, this is the standard of happiness, because their standard of happiness is completely different. It's just like if you go to a pig and give very nice halwa made of pure desi ghee. So what the pig will respond to this such a nice halwa? The pig will turn away his face with utter disgust. He will not be able to appreciate such a nice feast. But if it is given to you, you will very much appreciate it. If you want to taste it, you come to Hare Krishna Land Zoo and experience, taste it. But the pigs cannot experience, because they haven't experienced this standard of happiness. That's why they are just living. They take birth in the gutter. They live their life in the gutter, and they die also in the gutter. That is their standard of living. So how can one expect that they will be able to realize the happiness of eating halwa and having feast? It's not at all possible. That is why, till the time a person is only engrossed in this lower standard of material happiness, it is very difficult for him to even imagine that there is some higher level of happiness, higher level of consciousness, there is some spiritual happiness. And that's why they cannot understand the standard of happiness which a devotee experiences, the standard of happiness by serving Krishna. This cannot be understood by a person who has not become free from this material conception of life. So that's why we are discussing. We are just trying to help you understand in what kind of material atmosphere we are living, and what kind of so much miserable situation we are living, and what the lower standard of happiness we are getting in this material world. If we can just understand this, then we somehow or other will be uh, able to experience the spiritual happiness, which is far, far greater than this third class, worst class material happiness. So in this way, we discussed regarding these three kinds of miserable situation. So, so we concluded with this session, this slide. Luxuries and comforts offered by science and technology cannot satisfy the soul, because the soul's demand is something else, like a fish taken out of water. The fish demands and needs are completely different. Fish simply wants to remain within the water. That's all. That will satisfy her completely. But if you take out the fish and give all kinds of facilities, doesn't matter 4G, 5G, 6G, 10G, you give internet, free internet, all IDs you open, Instagram, Twitter, Facebook, everything. And you have all the resources to enjoy good food item, good friends of this so-called friends of this material world. Nothing can satisfy you until unless you get connected to your original root. And the soul is actually from a spiritual world, just like fish is from water. So fish can only become happy in the water. Similarly, the soul, which belongs to spiritual world, that is his natural home, natural place. So the soul can become happy only in the association of the Supreme Lord. So so that is why, that is the intelligence of a person who can utilize this existence, this life, in order to prepare for a further destination after death. So for this, there is nice story. This is a very nice story. Desolate island. Desolate means isolate. You can say isolate, desolate, the same thing. Desolate island. So there was an island near a kingdom. There was a kingdom. And near that kingdom, there was a desolate island which had no facility, nothing. So in that kingdom, the rule was that if any person, some or other, enters within that kingdom, that person is made king for full 1 year. For 1 year, all those inhabitants of that kingdom, they used to make that person who enters, who comes as a guest in their kingdom, as a king. But what happens after 1 year? After 1 year, they are that the king, the person who is guest, he is sent to a desolate island where no food is there, no living conditions, nothing, only ferocious animals are there. So this they used to throw him there, and eventually what happened? The person used to die, suffering a lot. So that is a story. So similarly, our life is like this only. So we come to this world like guest, and we are made king of our own kingdom. Our family is our small kingdom, and as soon as we take birth, Mera Raja Beta, happy birthday to you. So we are made the king, and we think, oh, I am the king of my kingdom. Which kingdom? A small family. That is my kingdom. I become the king, and I forget. Then, then I just like a person who is a king. He tries to expand his kingdom. So as soon as he starts growing, so he tries to expand his kingdom one from one family to another family. Then he gets married and so many children, and then he further expands the kingdom. Further marriages of children, and then so many further children, then grandchildren. In fact, it is said, don't take it otherwise, but the meaning of Istri, what is the meaning of Istri? Not the iron one. Istri means a woman. So in Hindi, Istri. The meaning of Istri is one who expands the kingdom. That is the meaning of Istri. So in this way, he is completely uses all his human form of life just to expand his little kingdom, uh, and he tries to enjoy it to the fullest extent, forgetting that one day, as soon as this his 1 year is completed, 1 year means his life is completed, he will be sent to a desolate island where nothing is there. So he's not preparing for it. But an intelligent king, suppose in this example, in this story, if you were made the king, what will you do? We don't have much time, otherwise, we would have discussed about it. So, what would you do? You think of yourself. I'll not ask, but I'll just give the answer of a person who is completely intelligent. And that can only be a devotee. Only a devotee is a completely, fully the best person, most intelligent person who can use his human form of life in a best way. Suppose if a most intelligent person is given this chance to become a king for 1 year, so what he will do? He will nicely rule the kingdom very nicely, and at the same time, 50% of his time, energy, he will start preparing to make that desolate island into another kingdom. So that as soon as his 1 year turn is over, and when he is thrown into the desolate island, he will know, he will have no worry for any food arrangement, anything, because in during this 1 year, he has focused a lot that after 1 year, when I'm sent to that desolate island, so I will prepare, I will make another kingdom. So that king, intelligent king, what he does, entire 1 year, he sends all the food item, he cultivates the land there, and he sends soldiers, ministers, everyone, all his friends or family, everyone, queens, children, he one by one gradually he sends everything and makes all the arrangement. And at the end of 1 year, as soon as he is thrown away to that island, now he permanently becomes the king. So that is the sign of intelligence. Similarly, in this short duration of life, we have given this chance. Either we can try, not actually enjoy, but either we can try to enjoy in this world, as I was mentioning. In this world, material world, the conception of happiness is actually illusory. uh, the gaps between two miserable situations we consider happiness, or a relief from one kind of misery is considered to be happiness. So either we can try to arrange for this illusory happiness, enjoyment, or we can side by side prepare for our next destination. Uh, we can prepare for what will happen after death. So that is also very much important. We don't say that you don't make arrangement for this present life. You do that, that's required. We are not stopping. In fact, those who have abandoned this material life, like ourselves, so we are no more interested in family life and job, but still, we are also doing some material duties to maintain the body is material duty itself. Because until unless we maintain our body, so how can we practice Krishna consciousness? How can we prepare for next life? So that is required, but it should be done in a way. You can do whatever you want, not whatever you want. No, we should not do the sinful activity. But suppose somebody wants to become a good doctor, engineer, lawyer, but don't become a liar. So lawyer, actor, actress, cricketer, or journalist, whatever, businessman, whatever you want, you can become. No problem with that. You can have ambitions, but don't just don't just use your valuable time just to become all these things. Rather, you should use all these things, all these whatever resources you have, intelligence, energy, or position you have. You use it for making another kingdom. You just like that king, intelligent king. He used his present position as a king to make another kingdom, desolate island, as very nice kingdom. Similarly, we can use that. We can prepare for next life also by getting connected to Krishna consciousness, by getting connected to devotees of the Lord, by chanting Hare Krishna, reading Bhagavad Gita, understanding philosophy of Bhagavad Gita. So in this way, we can save ourselves and make our life much more better even now, much more better materially also. Huh? So it's possible. So this story gives us an idea. Uh, the difference between the wise and the foolish. So lessons. This is the lesson from Desolate Island. Huh? So the wise is always uh, uh, the who is a wise person. He has firm faith in God. That means he accepts there is God, and I'm a spirit soul, and there's reincarnation. After that, I'm again going to come back. So that's why he prepared for next life also. Whereas the foolish, he has no faith in God, and he lives life completely with this philosophy: eat, drink, and be merry philosophy. This is not actually philosophy. This is what is this? Uh, this is bogosology. This is not philosophy. But the wise lives life according to the laws of God, and the wise remembers the temporary nature of this world. He knows that I have been given this human form of life for few years, means few decades, few years, few decades, same thing, no difference. And the foolish, but he forgets the temporary nature of this world and enjoys sinfully, not caring for the future. And the wise follows the regulated life of principles to ultimately attain God. That is the symptom of a wise person. He follows the regulated life. Regulated life means like he does his material activity, material duties, his studies, job, business, everything. But at the same time, he's also interested to hear about God, to understand the purpose of life, and to follow some spiritual practices in his life. So that is the symptom of a wise man. But the foolish, he has no more interest and envious of others, lives an unregulated life, and ultimately goes to hell. That's why they tell you, rascal, you go to hell. In all these envious people, in every statement, they tell, go to hell, go to hell. But devotees say, go back home, back to Godhead, go to Krishna. That is the difference. Huh? So now choice is yours. Where do you want to go? And you can decide. So this life is like a journey. Just like you travel in the train. So you board a train at particular station, and after some time, one by one, with the passengers, you sit around, you chat for some time, you make friendship, relationships. But after each and every station, one by one, they are gone. Similarly, in this journey of life, we come, and so many passengers they come with us. Huh? Known as mother, father, children, wife, husband, friends, teachers, relatives, neighbors, everything. They're all passengers with whom we make some kind of relationships. So there is nothing wrong in that. We can have good relationship, just like we sit in the train and we make friendship with these passengers. So nothing wrong. You can chat with them. You can enjoy your journey, but don't forget your station. That's important. If you are so much, you become so much absorbed in making friendship with your these passengers, but as soon as the station comes and the passenger goes down, and then your heart breaks. Oh, what is the use? Hmm? It's a foolishness, no? So you can have chat, you can have similarly in this world. We have so many relatives, so we can have friendship with them, we can have relationship with them, and we can follow whatever duties are assigned to us. We can follow that, no problem with that. But don't become so much absorbed that you forget uh, your station. And our ultimate station is kingdom of God. That is our ultimate station. We should always remember. So Yudhishthir Maharaj was asked by Yaksha. I think most of you might have heard this story. Yaksha, once in the forest, when all the Pandavas they were feeling so much thirst, so they went to search out water. So one by one, Bhima, Arjuna, Nakul, and Sadev, they go to and they find some pond, and they try to get some water to drink. But as soon as they try to take the water and drink it, immediately one yaksha used to come, and the yaksha used to obstruct them from drinking. And he used to tell, first of all, you have to answer my questions, then only you will be able to drink and you will be able to take the water from my pond. So they tried their well, but nobody could properly answer the questions of yaksha. And yaksha then he fought with them and he killed them. So in this way, they became unconscious. Finally, Yudhishthira Maharaj comes and he finds out his four brothers were lying down. So the Yaksha says the same thing to Yudhishthira Maharaj. And Yudhishthira Maharaj is Dharmaraj. He knows everything about Dharma. So he one by one, he gives the answer. So one of the questions asked by this Yaksha is, what is the most wonderful or astonishing thing in this material world? So Yudhishthira Maharaj says this. This is the answer. What Yudhishthira Maharaj says, the most astonishing or most wonderful, most surprising thing in this world is ahani ahani bhutani gachanti hayamalayam seshah sthavaram icchanti kimascharyam atah param. Kimascharyam atah param. Param means what kind of ashcharya is bigger than this? This is the biggest ashcharya. This is the biggest surprise. What? Hundreds and thousands of living entities meet death at every moment, but a foolish living being nonetheless thinks himself deathless and does not prepare for death. This is the most wonderful thing in this world. You see, all of you know, hundreds and thousands of living entities, not just human beings are living entities. So many bacteria, insects, plants, and trees, they are also living entities. And we see every morning when in your house, your mother does the sweeping, what happens? So many ants, insects, they are dying, but we don't care about it. Huh? We see it's normal. Huh? But actually, it is happening with each and every living entity, and it is going to happen with us also. But we remain so confident that no, it will not happen with me, and we lead our life so unconsciously that we think that we will always remain like this forever. But it is not going to happen. Yudhishthira Maharaj is telling this. This is the biggest ashcharya. This is the biggest surprise. And immediately Yaksha said, yeah, correct answer. Take the water. So this is the biggest thing. People don't realize that this life is like a journey. So that is uh, this symptom of the foolish person. They are only mad after petty pleasures of life, and they indulge, forgetting this insignificant material enjoyment, sense gratification. They indulge in sinful activities and invite ghastly future. To commit sinful activity, to get cheap material enjoyment, is the biggest foolishness of a living entity in this world. If at all, if somebody wants sense gratification, still there is good solution. At least when I was in first semester, when I first came in contact with Krishna consciousness, started reading Bhagavad Gita. So this I used to contemplate this. If I have to get some material enjoyment also, so what is the use of trying to get this material enjoyment in this world? What is the use? We have such a limited lifespan. Uh, this life, only for 20-25 years I have this youth body. So how much I can enjoy? And even to get some cheap, insignificant enjoyment, I have to work a lot, struggle a lot, suffer a lot. So what is the use? So I heard it at that time, but now definition is changed. At that time I heard that if somebody practices Krishna consciousness, following all the regulatory principles very strictly, and still he has the material desires, he wants to enjoy, then by the grace of the Supreme Lord, he is promoted to heavenly planets. And there, for millions of years, he can enjoy unlimitedly without restriction. No problem. Of course, there are also miseries are there, but at least the kind of enjoyment we expect in this world, that we can fulfill in heavenly planets. But that is another kind of illusion. That is another thing. But at least a little intelligent person will not try to waste his human form of life, his energy, time, just for getting some cheap, insignificant material enjoyment, and that too by committing sinful activities. By drinking alcohol, what kind of enjoyment is there? A third class, first class thing. Once my uncle, when I was a small child, so instead of giving a glass of water, he gave me a glass of alcohol and told me, "You drink it. This is very nice juice." I drank it. Immediately, I became so disgusted and ran toward my mother. I complained to my mother. My mother then became very serious. That is the grace of my mother. Because of her only, although in my family, a few were this meat eating intoxication was going on, but my mother protected me from very childhood. So in my life, I never ate any meat and this intoxication. So that is the mercy of my mother. I still appreciate. But the point is that this is all third class thing. We don't even get some enjoyment or taste also, but it's still, and we get what we acquire, sinful activity. Papa we acquire by drinking alcohol, meat eating, and smoking, illicit sex, and gambling. All these things are, they give just cheap, third class, degraded enjoyment. In the name of enjoyment, there is only cheating. Uh, and what we acquire sinful. Volumes of sins are acquired in this process, and then Yamdut, Yamraj, they are waiting for us. That is why this invites us for ghastly future. So we should not remain foolish person, uh, because the foolish person sees everything is temporary, but still is blind to truth, and it's blind to truth. He cannot understand, and in this way he breaks God's laws due to uncontrolled senses and glides down more and more. अदान्त गोभिर् विशदान्त मिश्रम पुनः पुनः चर्वित चर्वणानाम. Prahlad Maharaj says this. A 5-year-old boy, he speaks the philosophy in such a nice manner. नते विदु स्वार्थ गतिम हि विष्णु दुराशया ये बहिरर्थ मानिना. अदान्त गोभिर् विशतां तमिष्टम पुनः पुनः चर्वित चर्वणानाम. पुनः पुनः चर्वित चर्वणानाम. In order to get cheap enjoyment by chewing the chewed one. Suppose if you take a sugarcane stick and you chew the sugarcane stick, and after it has been chewed by somebody, a person goes again and takes it to get some juice from it. So what is this? So this is foolishness. But because of being uncontrolled senses, because of unable to control the senses, people still go behind it, and in this way they create havoc in their life. So we should not remain a foolish person like animals, just like this foolish. This is goat mentality. So if a goat is quid in front of slaughterhouse, so the goat is saying that my dear friend has been slaughtered, but still there, if you put some grass there, she will very happily eat the grass and forget about that he next that goat is going to put in the slaughterhouse and she will be killed. She doesn't care about it. So we should not remain so foolish like this. And the goat is seeing his friend being killed and he will be the next, but he is happy with short life pleasure. So that is the temporariness of this material existence. So, but till now I explained something which might you might have felt that this is so negativity. We came here to hear about Bhagavad Gita, some positivity, some enthusiasm we want. But what this person is telling us, he's he's discouraging us, giving only negativity of all these things. But this was required to tell us the truth. But we have full positivity. We have good hope. We have real bliss, real happiness, real good standard of life is there. And that is actually permanent solution to all the problems of life. And that is Vedic wisdom. So we'll continue it from tomorrow. So thank you very much. Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Ram, Ram Ram. Is there any question you can ask? Hare Krishna. Yes, please raise your hand and ask. Yes, Jitesh, bro.
Dhanwad Pranam Prabhuji. So I had this question. Could you also please tell us then who told you about Krishna Bhakti?
Yeah. So that is the mercy of devotees. They come, they travel from one place to another place and give us this information, knowledge of Bhagavad Gita, give us Bhagavad Gita. That's why this is our great responsibility. We should also try to approach people and give them Bhagavad Gita so that they may also get connected to Krishna consciousness, ISKCON, and get enlightened. Suppose if that devotee who gave me Bhagavad Gita, who connected me with ISKCON, if he would have not come to our college and given us this knowledge that ISKCON is there, so I might be sitting somewhere in some bar, some club, drinking alcohol and doing some all kinds of nonsense. Actually, I don't hope like this, but I might have been sitting in ISRO and unnecessary scratching my brain to try to go somewhere where we cannot go without visa and passport. But that is also another kind of visa and passport. You cannot travel to other planets. So that is also another kind of nonsense only. Means for me, I accept.
Unnecessary formulae, unnecessary calculations to be done sitting in front of the
Yeah, what
computer
is the
all the
use?
time.
Life is too short. Even if you go there, what will happen? Life is too short. Ultimately, you are going to die. You have not made the solution of your life, your death. Just like nowadays, people are too busy to maintain their body by exercise, gym, workout, and all these things. And there are intelligent class of people are too busy to understand the body, and less intelligent class of people they are too busy to maintain this body. But actually, those who are really intelligent class of people, they utilize the body because this body is a machine. So the vehicle. So they utilize this vehicle to go to the destination. So we should not waste our this valuable human form of life. Okay.
And may I also know at what age did you get to know about Krishna Bhakti?
Sorry.
At what age did you get to know about Krishna Bhakti?
Oh, when I was around 19 years old, I first came in contact with Bhagavad Gita.
And right now,
Okay.
could you please tell us how old are you?
32. As I am practicing till that time. So it's mercy of the Supreme Lord, Srila Prabhupada and devotees. So hope
Hare Krishna.
you pray to Krishna, I remain engaged in Krishna service. Okay, next question.
This is the best.
अगर कोई कारण के वजह से 26 को जन्माष्टमी ठीक है चलेगा हमको हर दिन जन्माष्टमी सेलिब्रेट करना चाहिए वाई ओनली 26 एंड 27 जन्माष्टमी मीन्स to remember Krishna, to remember our precarious condition in this material existence, and to take firm shelter of Krishna. Chant His holy name. So if you are some or other, if you are unable to celebrate on 26, yeah, very nice. You celebrate on 27. Means celebrate means we chant Hare Krishna whole day and remember Krishna. Krishna is very merciful. And 27 is in fact Nandotsav, Srila Prabhupada's appearance day. So Srila Prabhupada is more merciful. So he will bless you. Okay. Please tell me when is Harshad and when is Janmashtami? Because my birthday also celebrating Janmashtami. Very nice. Happy birthday. So we'll pray for you, Shivangi, that in this birthday, you'll be blessed by the Supreme Lord Krishna, that no more birthday in this material world. Means in this material world, you become free from all the suffering and you ultimately attain shelter of Krishna's lotus feet. In this way, birthday which we can celebrate, but I don't know what Harshad. जन्माष्टमी व्रत कैसे रखना है just chant Hare Krishna whole day, don't eat, don't drink, only chant Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Ram 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 Hare Hare So this is out of context question. But what was the reaction of your parents about leaving everything and practicing Krishna consciousness? So this is out of context question. So of course, because of not knowing the value of this culture, this ashram, brahmacharya or sannyas ashram. So my parents, they objected. They did not feel so much happy. But over the period of time, from last 5 years, I am practicing this ashram and trying to serve Krishna. So over the period of time, after a few years, they really appreciate it now. They are very happy. My mother especially is very happy that okay, this is very nice that you have become the joined brahmacharya ashram and you are trying to spread Krishna consciousness, teachings of Bhagavad Gita all over uh, wherever you are able to. So that's very good. So she is appreciating it. So it takes time to understand people, but it is not required. It's not required. You can, even in family life, in your job, we have in ISKCON we have more than 98%. They are grahasthas. They have wife, children, and job, everything, but they practice Krishna consciousness very nicely. So there is no requirement as such. But those who are willing to do some good to others, so they might take this step to help others, because in family life, if you are engaged, so all of your most of your time and energy is just gone in maintaining the family, and at most you can do your own bhakti, Krishna consciousness, bhajan. But if you want to travel and to preach to others, so some of the devotees, they decide to do this.
Hare